The Zero Carbon Hub, a public-private partnership set up in 2008, is charged with facilitating the mainstream delivery of low and zero-carbon homes from 2016. The Hub's inaugural annual conference brought together the leading players to discuss the issues, focusing on the definition and delivery of zero-carbon homes policy to ensure the industry, government and key stakeholders understand the challenges, issues and opportunities involved in creating low and zero-carbon homes. The chairman of the Zero Carbon Hub and chief executive of the UK Green Building Council, Paul King, chaired the conference, which was supported by an exhibition to showcase products and services, attracting sponsorship from key stakeholders across the industry. The Housing Minister used the conference to announce that the Green Deal, in which environmental improvements to existing homes are funded by future savings on energy bills, should be extended to new homes.
I reckon such a scheme could allow developers to recover some of the costs of building better homes to meet modern energy efficiency standards. At the same time, we could protect the home buyer by ensuring that their repayments was no more than the savings made on their energy bills. It seems to me that this would be a win-win. But I want to know what you think as an industry.
I was very pleased to hear Grant Shapps talk about Green Deal for new build. It's something I've been working on with his officials, so very pleased to see that publicly announced now.
Well, I thought it was interesting that he came out with his idea of the Green Deal on new homes. I'd be very interested to see how that works. A lot of work to be done there. But no, the continual commitment, and I think we're getting the real message from him, and I do believe we've got a lot of support from him.
I'm looking forward to, after this event, to going away and speaking to colleagues and industry collaborators to see how we can work together to come back to the Minister with a proposal on how we can get new build to fit with the Green Deal.
Clare, Chief Executive of Barratt Developments, the first volume builder to create a zero-carbon home, told conference that while the industry had achieved much, there was a long way to go.
We need to continue investing in programmes like AIM-C4 and collaborating more to deliver better solutions for everyone. We must also continue to work with our supply chains to deliver lower cost solutions for on-site renewables over the next 5 or so years. We also need customers and valuers to understand the benefit of living in a much more efficient home, and hopefully at some point take on board there will be a cost to everyone of bringing second-hand stock up to a reasonable standard.
Crest Nicholson was a leading partner in the Hub's work on marketing tomorrow's new homes. Its chief executive, Stephen Stone, spoke about the need to recognise the long-term benefits of sustainable homes.
What we need to do is understand the product we're designing and building now isn't just for the first homeowner, it's for the second homeowner, the third homeowner, etc., the first tenant, the second tenant, because these products are going to be lived in for 60, 100 years or more. And it's not just the customer, it's also the supply industry that's required to service the products that we're putting in.
The challenge of zero carbon extends beyond the responsibility of house builders. Delegates heard about the role of energy suppliers from Don Leiper, Managing Director of E.ON Energy Services. The HBF's Director of External Affairs, John Slaughter, spoke on the issues raised by the coalition government's localism agenda, while Ray Morgan, Chief Executive of Woking Borough Council, stressed the need for local authority buy-in.
What I was trying to get over to the audience with a little bit of provocation is that if we want to get our local communities sustainable, we have to find a way that all parts of the equation work together. Local authorities, energy providers, house builders, consultants, etc. And stop fighting each other, but find a way of actually joining together and working on the solution.
The conference also heard the zero-carbon experiences of colleagues across the industry. From an architect's view of designing the Code Level 6 development at Greenwatt Way in Chalvey, and the challenges of meeting the requirements of building the same style homes to meet Code Levels 1, 3, 4, 5 and 6 at Miller Zero in Basingstoke. NHBC, Construction Skills, HBF and the Zero Carbon Hub collaborated last year to produce Home Building Skills 2020 to assess the skills needed to build tomorrow's new homes. NHBC Chief Executive Imtiaz Farookhi reported the findings and recommendations to conference. And linking with the skills and business agenda, delegates heard from Keith Marshall from Summit Skills on the challenges ahead to ensure the house building industry has the right skills to build the zero carbon homes of the future. At the conference, the Zero Carbon Hub was able to announce that it had secured further funding.
So we've got together the funding that we need for the next financial year. And I think what's been extra special is to hear from all the people that work with us to work on this major project of helping to deliver low and zero carbon homes, that they're so pleased to support us going forward. It's been a fantastic collaborative effort. I think that's why we've seen so many people here today. Everyone has worked together during what has been a very difficult time for the house building industry.
I've been very impressed by the work of the Zero Carbon Hub. I'm a big supporter, a big fan of the work that you do, whilst I was in opposition and even more so whilst in government. So I'm delighted, really delighted, given the difficult financial circumstances the government finds itself in, that the industry has decided to carry on this very important work. And I thank the NHBC and others publicly for that work. It really means a great deal that you're engaging and that you're leading from the front on this issue.
I'm delighted that he recognises the value of the hub and the value of the private sector, particularly NHBC, contributing to this research and development agenda, which will ultimately help the government and the country. You don't get a second chance to get this right.
We're there to benefit the industry, and part of that is ensuring that this sort of work gets done. So I'm very pleased that we are supporting it. I'll be even more pleased when the government continues to support it themselves.
The first annual Zero Carbon Hub conference was very positively received.
It's been great, it's mentioned all the right things, it's obviously heading in the right direction, and it's great to see so many people here today, like spread the message out further.
And bring people together to discuss it, to argue it, to debate it. And you can see around there's a huge number of detailed conversations going on. All of that is a really important part of the process.
I'm still a bit concerned that my question on code level 4 and whether it's coming in or not and in what form, I don't feel has been answered.
It's been interesting hearing firsthand from people like Mark, Clare. We're more interested in the contacts that we make outside of the conference here.
I think it went incredibly well. We've had some super feedback already. Huge amount of information to digest, but I think what it shows is that this whole agenda has moved from something of an aspiration a couple of years ago to very much a reality today. In that vein, a comment I made at the end of the conference was, don't think of zero carbon as an end in itself. It's very much a means to an end, which is really about building better quality homes that are going to be cheap to run and that people are going to want to buy and live in for a very long time.